I think on some like a distant channel, but it's out there. Are there things where you want to, like when you're relating with your dad, are there things you want to make sure that he knows now? Like is there responsibility that you feel as a child that it's like, okay, how do I make sure he's okay?
Yeah.
Like, does that make any sense?
Yeah. And I think from having kids as well.
And even for other people that are experiencing this, like since you've had experience with it, like if you could just maybe share a little bit of that.
So when I had the premiere in back in Australia, I had someone come up to me afterwards.
For Crime 101?
No, sorry, for the documentary with my dad.
For Limitless.
A road trip to remember.
Say it again.
A road trip to remember.
Got it.
And someone come up to me and he said, I was diagnosed around the same time your dad was, and I wish my kids could see this because no one asks me how I am or what I'm afraid of or what I'm experiencing because people are nervous. They don't know how to discuss it, so they dance around it and pretend it's not happening. And he goes, so you suffer in silence. And the biggest thing I think that has helped, that my dad has responded to, and I'm thankful for having gotten to this place, is asking him how he's feeling about it, because it's, you talk to your parents about this stuff and then your parents pass away and then who do you talk to? And it hit me that, God, he doesn't have his dad to go and have these hard conversations or these vulnerable moments with, or his mum anymore. And so trying to give him that space, but also I know I remember 15 years ago, that transition of when him realizing he wasn't the authority, and we as young men now working and knew more about things and weren't seeking his advice as much. I remember seeing that on his face and it not registering enough for me to do anything about it, but kind of being aware that like the changing of the guard was occurring. And so I go to him now and I'll ask him things that I may know the answer to, or just so he feels like there is still agency and he has autonomy and they want to see, thank you, they want to feel like they still matter and there's a purpose.
That's a good point. You don't think about that when that change in the guard happens, that there's a value loss or potential like hypothesized value loss for the parent. Oh,
for sure. And I even my kids, my daughter's 13, my boys are 11, and I'm already feeling that like, oh, I'm not cool and I'm not necessarily who they look to, and it's like, and they're young. But
they're watching Andrew Tate or whatever.
Yeah, they're watching all sorts of bullshit and have other role models. But it's like, I think, and then I'm 42, but I can't imagine in the 60s, 70s when that gap becomes, far greater, and especially facing, having dementia and realizing your memories are being stripped away and that vulnerability, that just making sure they still feel like that they are of purpose and that they have an opinion and the opinion matters. And so, yeah, if anyone's going through it, that would be my advice, is check in with them, ask them how they're feeling, ask them what they're afraid of. Because no one asks.
That's such a great question. What are you afraid of? Yeah. Instead, I could just, it's easy to say, hey, how are you? Yeah. But that's not the same thing.
And that won't bring out the answer. Like I asked him on the show and he went, I just don't want to be a burden. Oh. And it was like, oh, fuck. And I had no idea that he'd felt that. I thought it was going to be about the kind of, losing, control of this and that and the other. But it was like he was more concerned with what it was going to do to the group.
That's what my mom says sometimes. I don't want to be any burden.
Yeah.
And it makes me think like, oh yeah, like, I don't know. And in some ways I've always wanted my mom to be like a burden. Like, I don't know, like the inverse of a burden, kind of whatever that is, like a positive burden or just like, I don't know,
like a beautiful responsibility, or it can, But like
but for that to say, I don't want to be a burden.
Do you find that it gives you purpose though? Like it's like having this time with him, as kind of confronting as it's been, has also given me a greater sense of like what matters, and also it's like the roles do transfer, and at a certain point as an adult you got to realize, oh, I now need to take care of them,
right?
And and especially men, I don't know, but in Australia there's a real like avoidance around that sort of vulnerability or the sort of admittance to I may be afraid of something or I need a hand. And so offering that up rather than having to get them to come to you and say, please check in with me.
That's a huge thing. Yeah. What are you afraid of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's really what I want to know probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other day I was thinking, like I messaged my mom and I was like, hey mom, is there anything that you need? Is there any like trip that you've always wanted to take? Is there anything? Because, you know, now I have some finances